Imagine a ship floating at even keel draft. When you load a weight to the aft of the ship immerses more in the same direction where the weight is loaded, as you can see in the animation. The forward and aft drafts will show a difference between them. This difference is called trim and is expressed in meters or feet and centimeters or inches. The geometric center of the waterplane area is called the center of flotation. Area of waterplane will change with the draft of the ship, and also if the ship lists or trims substantially. Hence, the center of flotation will shift. LCF is the longitudinal distance of the COF from the aft perpendicular. When a weight is loaded or discharged, a trimming moment, which is product of the weight and its distance from the aft perpendicular, is created. If a weight is shifted, then it is considered to be two operations of discharging from one position and loading in another position, and moments calculated accordingly. When the trim of a ship is altered by 1 centimeter or inch, then the moment to change the trim by 1 centimeter or inch is called MCTC or MCTI. MCTC or MCTI equals W times BM sub L divided by 100 divided by L. BM sub L equals I divided by V, where W is displacement, L is LBP, V is underwater volume. I is moment of inertia of the waterplane about the transverse axis passing through the COF. Normally the value of BM sub L can be obtained from the hydrostatics table. When you load weight on the forward deck of the ship trims in the same direction in which you load the weight. Observe the shift of center of gravity, G. Similarly, observe the shift of the position of G when you load weight. On the aft deck of the ship. On the center deck of the ship. To the forward bottom of the ship. To the center bottom of the ship. To the aft bottom of the ship. To the distance through which the COG moves is given by the formula. GG1 is product of W and S divided by delta, where GG1 is the shift of G in meters or feet, and W is the weight shifted, loaded, or discharged in tons. Delta is the ship's final displacement in tons. And S is the distance between the initial and final position of the weight when shifted, or the distance in meters or feet between the COG of the ship and the weight that is being loaded or discharged in meters or feet. When you discharge weight from the forward deck of the ship trims in the opposite direction from which you discharge the weight. Observe the shift in center of gravity G. Similarly, observe the shift in the position of G for various discharging points when you discharge weight. From the aft deck of the ship, from the center deck of the ship, from the forward bottom of the ship, from the aft bottom of the ship, from the center aft of the ship. In all the cases where G shifts position, the COF of the ship is amidships. Note that if the COF is located other than the midship, then the change in the trim causing forward and aft will differ. Finally, observe the shift of center of gravity G when you shift a weight from the forward deck of the ship to the aft bottom. Similarly, observe the change in position of G when you shift a weight from the forward bottom of the ship to the aft deck. For COF amidships, the shifting of weights causes the draft increase in the side where the load is shifted. Note that if the COF is located elsewhere, other than the midship, then the change in the forward and aft trim will differ.